I'm gonna start this off. Since I'm the man of the hour, the man of the show. I want to ask LeBron, what does he mean by "there's no party like a Diddy party"? I truly want to know. And not only that, LeBron, how many Diddy parties have you actually been to? I'm really curious to know. And is that the reason you left social media? Because all the backlash you were getting for going to so many Diddy parties? It's just pathetic, man. People think this guy's a role model. He wants to defund the police, the most patriot people of America, serving and protecting our country. LeBron, you're a fucking scumbag, and I hope you get locked up in the same cell with Diddy. So I called the UFC and volunteered. I wanted to fight Shavkat. That was the fight I wanted. I think he's all hype. He hasn't fought anybody of my level, an elite fighter in a 5-round fight. So I was excited to fight Shavkat. But the UFC had already had other plans that said, hey, we're going to do the other fight with the cuck, Ian Gary. So, they wanted to do that fight. But they're like, hey, but we need to fill this main event with Joaquin Buckley at Tampa. He's not a star. He's a bum. He's a nobody. So we need someone to sell this show. Can you be a company man? Come do it. I said, absolutely, Hunter Campbell. Whatever you need, man. I'm a company man. I love this company. God bless the UFC. God bless America. But what a great opportunity to fight my home state and defend home turf in Tampa, Florida, 3 hours up the road from where I live in Miami, Florida. So, it's just a beautiful opportunity. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, UFC.
Joaquin says that you guys have met before, and there was a time actually before your fight with Usman, the first fight, that he asked to train with you, and you sort of the rounds never came to fruition. So he says you actually have somewhat of a relationship from back then. Do you remember those days when you were training together?
Yeah, I offered him to train. He'd come train in strength and conditioning class with me. I'm like, hey, come jump in conditioning class with me, man. I got no issues with you. He wasn't in the same division at the time. He was at 185. So, I told him, hey, come on up, do some conditioning. And, I have no problem or beef against the guy. So, yeah, we trained together. Nothing wrong with that.
Mentioned them before. Ian and Shavkat did fight last week. I'd be curious to get your take on how they both performed. And, Ian wasn't very nice about you in the lead up to that fight, said you'd never fight him, etc. I wondered if you have any response for him as well.
Yeah, he's a cuck. He sits in the corner while his wife gets dogged out by the nutritionist. Isn't that just weird? Like, I don't know why more people don't, talk about that. It's just disgusting that he brings the last name of your wife's ex-husband. It's just fucking strange. And, my thing is, hey, he does nothing for my career. What does he do for me? He's an absolute nobody who's beaten nobody. So I told him, hey, if you want this fight, just answer the 3 stipulations. Turn on your comments. Your wife wants to be so famous so bad. She's quoting Shakespeare, which is just weird in itself.
What'd you think of Shavkat, like, as far as his performance? And now it looks like he's going to fight Bilal Muhammad. So what'd you think of his performance, and what chances do you give him against Bilal?
I didn't watch the fight. I was too busy, doing some other things, doing some streaming on my new Twitch for BC Game. Shout out to all my fans out there on Twitch that were live streaming, watching me right now. Got a lot of love for them. I got bigger things to do than watch these up-and-coming nobodies that haven't accomplished anything in this sport. They have no merit. They haven't been in title fights like me. They haven't won world titles like I have. I'm the superstar in this division. I call the shots. I am the champion. Everybody knows I'm the king of Miami. So I think after Saturday night when I convincingly beat Buckley, I'm next in line for the title.
Buckley says that he thinks that you took this fight because it's the last fight on your contract, and it just kind of worked out that way. What's, I guess, your standing with the UFC as of now?
Yeah, that's fake news. Before my last fight, I signed a new 5-6 fight contract. I'm a lifetime UFC fighter. I'm not going anywhere, and I never will. Even if it was the last fight, I would never leave. I'm staying here in the UFC. I love the UFC. They've done such good business for me.
Kind of talking about how there's still no love for Kamaru Usman. You called him a cheater. You called him a coward. Is there ever going to be a trilogy fight somewhere down the line?
I hope so. I really want that trilogy fight. There's definitely unfinished business there. Every single fan, when we walked out of Madison Square Garden the second fight, knew I won that fight. They said, hey, how did you not get your hand raised? They were all just in shock and disbelief. He won 1 round. The second round was his round. Okay, you got 1 round. It's a 5-round fight. So, I know I'm better than Kamaru Usman. The first fight we fought, with the food poisoning going in and the bad reffing. I was fighting 2-on-1 that night. Mark Not So God was stopping. I kicked him in the liver. The guy was done. He literally caught him in the liver. His organs were shutting down, and everybody knows when you get hit in the body shot in the liver, it'll shut your body down. And it doesn't matter how tough you are mentally, you will shut down. He was ready to shut down. They gave him a 5-minute break. And then these pushing me, Mark's pushing me oh, calm down, Colby, calm down, grabbing me, taking my energy away. completely took my focus out of the fight, that first fight. But the second fight I won, the trilogy fight needs to happen for sure. If he leaves and we never get to fight that trilogy, then, you know, I'll have that over him. Then he didn't want to fight me, and I was a better fighter than him. So, you know, I hope it happens. I think that's a fight that needs to happen.